Chris, do you agree with Kobe?
Kobe, that was tremendous advice. I mean, I agree with every word he said, but it was do as I say, don't do as I do. Mm-hmm. Because Kobe, I mean, what he said was tremendous, but I mean, emotional, leadership with the team and getting the best. I mean, you read what he said in total, getting the best out of your teammates. Sometimes it's confrontational, sometimes it's nurturing and things. Kobe didn't do that with Dwight Howard. Come on, he didn't nurture Dwight Howard. He didn't get the best out of Dwight Howard. Kobe's leadership was, you see how hard I work? You work just as hard and let's go win. That was it. Yeah. Kwame Brown, Smush Parker. Kobe saying you gotta, no matter who you have to find a way to win. Look, when Shaq left, Kobe and Smush and those guys missed the playoffs one year. Went out in the first round the next 2 years. Mm-hmm. And then Kobe demanded a trade. He didn't say, I'm going to find a way with these guys. I don't blame him, but he didn't.
No, wait a minute. I want you to backtrack that because Skip and I was having this conversation now, and Skip said I was killing the messenger. Mm-hmm. I want you to say what you said one more time. After Shaq left and then until he got to the finals, what was going on again, Skip?
Missed the playoffs. Went out in the first rounds 2 straight years. And then he demanded a trade. Mm-hmm. And you know that.
Right.
And he was about to leave. And I'm not mad at Kobe. I get it. He was playing with some scrubs, But what he said here was different than how he handled things. Even his relationship with Shaq. And I know Kobe that was Jim Buss that moved Shaq out. Kobe never asked him to get Shaq out. But you could say leadership is, look, you got this mammoth in the middle. Y'all find a way to be together and win 5 or 6 rings instead of 3. So I agree with what Kobe said. I think LeBron is a very good leader. Right. I mean, you see, he empowers his role players to be the best they can be by instilling confidence in them. I'm going to pass you the ball.
In any situation.
Shot. Yeah, the suits. Back in the day, remember his first stint with the Cavs, they always had the photos and all the team. He incorporates everybody, makes them feel part of the team. They all have a separate handshake with LeBron. That's great stuff. Now, he's not the perfect leader. I think the passive aggressiveness, that gets on my nerves. Mm-hmm. Those tweets, those Instagrams. I think the meltdown after, going into overtime, that was passive aggressive to me. Instead of going to JR and saying something either mean or nasty or just encouraging or whatever, say something, but it was a passive-aggressive move. The drama he brings. So he's got his warts, but like I said, Kobe had his warts. MJ had his warts as a leader. You know that.
I do.
In Washington, they couldn't get rid of him fast enough. Guys who had grown up playing, idolizing him, couldn't wait till MJ was out of the locker room because he demoralized guys. And so
he was 39 and 40 years of age. Go ahead.
But Chicago, he did some of that too.
He did. He motivated by fear.
Bill Cartwright.
Yep. He did. Yep.
So I'm saying they all have their warts as leaders, but they're great players and good leaders in many respects.
LeBron should have pulled that menace into society when he said, how much time was on the clock, JR? 4.5 seconds? You dribbled out 3.5? You done messed up, right? You done messed up. He didn't say mess. He said, you done. Skip, I get what Kobe's saying. And being a leader is more than passing the ball. There's a lot that's encompassing of being a leader. What makes Tom Brady a good leader is not that he only throws the football, puts the ball where guys can catch it, where they can do something with it, Skip. It's his overall ability. He shows up early. He stays late. He's running. He's doing all the extra things, which makes him a great leader. Being around John, I saw how hard he worked, how attentive and detailed he was in meetings. So that's what I'm looking at. I get what Kobe's saying, but you did none of that. I get it. You got empowered. So, JR, what was LeBron supposed to do with JR get the ball and he don't know how much time is on the clock? What's he supposed to do when Kyle Korver makes 1 of 16 shots in the finals? What's he supposed to do with Kevin Love shooting 30%? How's that LeBron's fault? LeBron's like, JR, you got this contract because of me. Tristan, Kevin Love, you're here because of me, instead of wasting away in Minnesota. Because, you was averaging 26 and 14, but you wasn't even sniffing. Even when a strong wind come, you couldn't sniff the playoffs in the West. Now you're in the finals every year, thanks to me. Look, I get it. LeBron's not perfect, but there's no such thing as a perfect leader. So for Kobe to say, well, this is the way, that's not Bron's mentality. See, you had the mentality that was more like Michael, so your leadership skills and style would be more like Michael. That's not what LeBron is. But to say he's got to find a way when you didn't, nah, Skip.
Tell me when it's my turn.
It's your turn.
Thank you. Here we go. I've been over here biting my lip until it's bleeding. Listen to all this stuff.
You know every single word of that was true.
It wasn't.
You know
context, your favorite word. We need context.
Okay, give us some context here.
Kobe Bryant was talking about all that he learned all the way up to the 2010 NBA Finals when he had lost 2008 Finals to these very same Big Three Celtics. And he lost pretty badly to those Big Three Celtics, and then he broke through in 2009, and he got a little lucky because LeBron and company fell a little short after they went up. When
they lost to Dwight.
They lost the first game. He hit the game winning in game 2.
Shot heard around the world, and then that was sort of the end of that deal. The point was, that was a mismatch to me, Orlando versus the Lakers. So Kobe got a pretty easy one there without Shaq. But all of a sudden, he's got to face those big, bad Celtics again in 2010. And that's when he said he was speaking in Michael Jordan's presence and made the mistake of saying, I'm looking at this roster and it's stacked because you got the big three, and you got Perkins, and you got Rondo, and you got Tony Allen, and you got Big Baby, and you got Rashid, and it's just too much firepower, and he's got a decent team, but it's not a team that can measure up to that team because he had Gasol and Artest, Andrew Bynum and Derek Fisher.
Odom.
Not bad.
That was a good team.
It was pretty good, but it wasn't this team.
Sheed wasn't. Sheed was on the tail end.
The big three were still at least at the end of their prime. They're all in their early 30s.
Yes.
So Michael is telling him, no, you got to figure it out. You have to, I'm paraphrasing the long quote, but you have to make your teammates feel like they can go with you and make the big shots that they need to make down the stretch of big games when you need them to make those shots. And Kobe's saying, one time I figured it out. Phil kept telling me, and I'm paraphrasing the quote again, no, you have to do less. You have to force the game on your teammates. You have to force them to realize, oh, we can do this. And Ron Artest realized in Game 7, oh, he could score 20 points. And Gasol, that's pretty much a typical game for him. He had 19 and 18 that game. And Derek Fisher scored 10. And then Sasha Vujovic stepped to the free throw line with the game on the line. Remember that? And he made both of them to clinch the game. So Kobe's saying, I figured it out only one time. Obviously, there was the Kobe Pout game in his second year without Shaq, when he refused to shoot because he had scored 50 points in Game 6 to force the Game 7, and he shot 35 times, and the media killed him over it. And he said, okay, watch this. So he was pouting in Game 7.
Well, that's kind of the dilemma that LeBron faces. Remember, when he comes out and he's not aggressive, he's trying to get everybody involved. LeBron, you need to be more aggressive. Exactly. Then he's more aggressive. Then they say, well, you need to get your teammates involved. So he's always in this dilemma. What do I do? Skip, we know. He has nobody that can initiate. Nobody can go get their own shot. So he basically has to set everybody up to do it. So if he doesn't, but if they're not hitting shots, well, how's that LeBron's fault that JR is shooting like 10%?
And Skip, did Kobe figure it out or other guys just stepped up? Kobe was 6 for 24 that game.
Yeah.
It wasn't like he wasn't shooting the ball.
But that's his point. I got help because he said he had been nurturing all those guys all year long.
Those are meta world peace. Ron Artest was a really good player.
He's a good player.
Powell was going to be a Hall of Famer.
He's not like a top 50 player, but he's a good player.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't Rodney Hood and Kyle Korver.
Yeah, Skip. I mean, that's all I'm saying.
George Hill, your favorite
You guys told me Kyle Korver, that was the right basketball play to give him the shot of shots.
Skip.
Right?
Skip.
And he's the fourth all-time in three-point make?
And you bring that up, he's made 2,400. Yeah. But he did shoot 1 of 16. He did J.R. Smith, George Hill. They did shoot awful in these fights. I don't get how that's LeBron's fault.
Here's the thing, too. Look, Kobe, I get where Kobe is like, look, and he's talking about leadership, but in going at LeBron, where am I in the conversation? Because he hears Allen Iverson and all these other players say, Kobe, why y'all forgetting Kobe when it's just LeBron?
I don't think he's doing that. I think he was passing down the wisdom that Jordan passed down to him. Simple as that.
You don't think there's a part of him that is like, Why am not I being discussed? I got 5 championships. A lot of players, Jordan
that's
used to
part
chase
of it,
Magic.
but this,
he had more
this
rings.
quote didn't smack of that.
Did Michael take any advice from Larry or Magic or Kareem?
Probably not.
Exactly. But so now all of a sudden, I'm better than you and I'm going to listen to what you got to say. Huh?
The advice was great. It's just do as I say, not as I do. That's what.